promise this is not going to be exactly the same regurgitated stuff that you heard like every day on the internet about Ariana Grande. This is coming from someone who had a severe ED that landed me in the hospital many times and actually was a performer for a living. But as she is not openly diagnosed, I won't even say that she has an ED. Either way, she is very, very thin, like malnourished thin. I was actually going to put pictures of me when I was performing in my very active ED on this video, but I decided not to because it might be taken down and it might be triggering, and I don't want to trigger anyone. I just want to talk about what it's like to be a performer and this underweight, as respectfully as I possibly can. It's not about her body, it's about her health, and it's not just about her. All of Hollywood is all of a sudden losing so much weight, and they're all getting the same plastic surgery in their faces. So if she's losing this much weight and other people are losing this much weight, if they see it's fine for her, they might do it as well, and then impressionable people might do it as well. But hi, I used to wear really high boots like that and perform for 3 hours each gig as my job. And at that time, I had a manager who was very coked up all the time, and he made like one comment about how my clothes fitted tight or something like that, and I was very healthy at this time. I was muscular and in shape. And it really just got to me, and I wound up losing a lot of weight. And it absolutely destroyed my vocal cords, and they're still damaged to this day. So whether it's confirmed that Ariana has an ED or not, I know that her body is under a lot of stress because I've looked like her before. And no, that is not a brag. It's awful. As someone who still struggles with food after having a severe ED for many years and problems with food their entire life, I could not stop watching these videos, and that scares me because there are people out there that are probably suffering with ED and they think, oh, if she can go on a whole tour like this, I can do it too. But you can't. So anyway, I actually have a bachelor's degree in music industry, specifically, and I also was a professional musician for many years. I damaged my vocal cords because I was so skinny and restricting so much that all the acid from my stomach was like coming up in my throat, and also your vocal cords are a muscle, so I was belting for 3 hours a night while running around and singing like Ariana, and honestly, Ariana was doing a lot less movement than I was doing at the time because I've watched a lot of videos for concerts. And it fried my vocal cords. I've had a raspy voice since then. I continued my music career after that. Right now I'm on hiatus, but I continued it because people like the raspy voice, but I used to have a pretty voice, and I was a singer since I was in like kindergarten. I would have like the solos and stuff. What I noticed in her performance was that she was using her head voice all the time and then letting the more belting songs play, and she would either lip sync to them or just put the mic down. And it takes a lot of energy and breath to do the belting ones, but the head voice you breathe more from like your shoulders, and she was doing that a lot. When I used to look like Ariana, I'm not saying there's not an underlying health condition, there could be, but we can't say it's okay for her to look like this. I'm over the body positivity thing. I know what it's like to feel like this. So when I would go to my gigs, I would bruise myself by carrying my guitar. I constantly felt like I was going to pass out, so I was always like overworking my voice. And like I said, voice is a muscle, it can completely ruin your voice. I was so obsessed with food and how I was going to hide it, and when my next meal would or would not be, that I had a very vacant stare in my eyes, and I see that here as well. My heartbeat was like always over 100, and if I did lay down for a little bit, because I went to the hospital frequently during this time due to my ED, and I would wind up dropping below 30, and doctors would wake me up and ask if I was, still alive, if I was okay. They thought I was going to die. You know what, honestly, just to show you that I'm not lying, huge trigger warning, don't look at these pictures, but they're not any worse than Ariana's, but that's why this is a little concerning. This is the shape I was performing in, and you can't even see my rib bones as much as Ari's. I have so much to talk about this because I've been there. I've been signed to a label. I've had managers. I have been a professional musician for a living. Am I a millionaire like her? No. Do I have a huge team like her? No. But what I will say is that my manager saw me shriveling away into nothing and just let me go. But I did have family, and I did have friends, and I even had people at my college, like doctors at my college, that were sincerely concerned about me and put me in inpatient and outpatient programs for my eating disorder. But somehow, Ariana has an entire team, and no one is doing anything about it, and I think, honestly, they knew that because of her physical health, that she would kind of blow up. She's like the most trending thing on TikTok right now, and that is disgusting. And the fact that her family isn't intervening is also disgusting. The fact that we're not supposed to say anything about this out of concern is disgusting. I have a lot of concern for her. I'm not the biggest fan, but I don't want her to die, and on top of it, I don't want other people to see this and think, oh, if a celebrity's doing it, I can do it too, or even other celebrities to do the same thing. I've looked at her old performances and how much she moved and had energy and smiled and bounced around, and now her eyes look hollow, and she's not moving as much. She's not doing many dance moves. She's taking a lot of sitting breaks, and I think that's to maybe protect her voice, because I know she cares a lot about her voice, and I do too. It's amazing. It's probably one of the best voices I've ever heard in my life. But it's not just her. All of Hollywood is getting these like buccal fat removals, and they're getting really, really skinny on Ozempic or whatever it is. I know for me, I didn't have weight loss drugs, but I took my stimulants in the morning, took other pills to make me fall asleep at night, and then I couldn't sleep anyway because I was starving every night, and so I would get up and sleepwalk and binge eat, and it was insane. It was disgusting. It was really disgusting. I'll go into like a disgusting ED video later, but anorexia has a huge mortality rate. It is the leading cause of death when it comes to psychiatric illnesses. And I myself was a performer close to death, and if it weren't for my family or my friends who intervened, I probably wouldn't be here today. Will this video fix her? No, it's not all about her though. It's about everyone else who's impressionable and saying, you can't comment on her body. This is more than her body, it's her health. And with having this degree in music industry and working in the music industry and understanding, her team is failing her. Even if it's a chronic illness, and maybe it's not ED, maybe she doesn't want to talk about it, I don't know, I'm not going to speculate. But it doesn't matter. She's malnourished, she's not fit to do this tour, and the people letting her do this are letting her down, and they're also letting fans and people who idolize her down. It's sick and it's harmful.